Hi, I'm Reverend Jake Zabel, and welcome to Children's Bible Stories. Alright children, we're now up to plague number 4, the plague of flies. And so God sent Moses and Aaron saying, when Pharaoh comes down to the water in the morning, so Pharaoh's coming down to the Nile River for his bath in the morning, he said, go out to him and meet him and say, let our people go into the wilderness so that they can worship God. And if you don't, God's going to send a plague of flies on the land. And don't you forget what happened with those frogs. Just as the frogs were everywhere, this time there's going to be flies everywhere. But this time God was also going to make a difference. God said, I will send the flies and they'll be everywhere in your houses and they'll be so thick you won't be able to see because of the flies. But I will not send them on the land of Goshen. So the land of Goshen was where all the Hebrews lived. And so God was going to send the flies on all the Egyptians, but not on the Hebrews. And Pharaoh refused to let the people go. And so God sent the plague of flies. And there was a big swarm of black flies. And it came into the house of the Egyptians, and it was so black and thick that they could barely see. There were so many flies. And Pharaoh came to Moses and said, all right, how about you just worship your God here in Egypt? And Moses says, we can't do that. We have to leave Egypt and go out 3 days walk into the wilderness, and there we can worship God. And so after a while, Pharaoh said, fine, you can go, just take the stupid flies away. And so Moses went and prayed to God to take the flies away. And God sent the flies out of the land. So that not a single fly remained in the land of Egypt. But again, Pharaoh hardened his heart and he went back on his promise and wouldn't let the Hebrews leave. And that's our story for today, children, on the plague of flies. Join us again next time as we look at the 5th plague. I've been your host, Reverend Jake Zabel. Goodbye and God bless.